coronavirus has done is simply accelerate. It's not like there's something new going on here. It has simply accelerated a trend that has been going on for 40 years, and that a lot of these low-income jobs and a lot of these small employers, these small companies, small and medium-sized companies that are going out of business and that are losing and the people who are losing their jobs are literally never going to get them back. That this is like the end point of Reaganism happening in 1 year when it would have been maybe another 10 or 20 years. What do you think of that analysis?
I like it. I think that's correct. I think you already saw it, that you didn't react to the dot-com crisis in 2000 in a way that you could have. You didn't learn anything. You did the same thing on a larger scale against the subprime mortgage crisis in 2008. That didn't work either. So now you're tripling down, if you like, by doing the same thing again. I fear that what you have going on here is a willingness of those at the top in the pursuit of ever more wealth on the fantastic scales of Jeffrey Bezos and all the rest, that the mass of the American people can be reduced to what we used to watch on television in National Geographic programs about poor countries far away. We're going to have enclaves of the rich surrounded by masses of people barely getting by. It's an amazing thing to try to do in any country, but in one that used to celebrate the big middle class and the American dream, I don't think it's politically doable.
Matthew 24:21. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. 22. And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. Revelations 18, verse 2. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen. It is fallen. Jumping down to verse 8. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burnt with fire, for strong is the Lord God who judged her. 2 Ezra 8:50. For many great miseries shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. 2 Ezra 6:22. And suddenly the sown places appear unsown, and full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. 23. And the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah. All praise to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shah, Hashem Kakadash. Now, you are seeing the end of Babylon the Great. And here in verse 22, it's talking about how the storehouses will be found empty. And then that's when the drama will begin. And in Revelation 18, it talked about famine would come last, and then Babylon would be burnt with fire. That's when the trumpet will give a sound, and every man that heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid, because they know that's when all heck is going to break loose. Also, it's going to be an insurrection upon those who fear the Lord, because the elites is going to know their time is short, and they got to try their best to eliminate the Israelites. But this is the time we're living in America.
is there's two ways to reinflate an economy that has crashed. One would be to inject money at the bottom, at the level of the worker through a massive government jobs program like FDR did. That worked. That got us out of the Great Depression. The other way to do it is to try to stimulate the economy the way that Reagan tried to do when there was a slight recession when he came into office, which is pour money into the banks and into the billionaires and hope that some fraction of it trickles down to the bottom. And that Powell is basically saying, we're going to double down on the trickle down strategy. We're not going to feed the bottom up. We're going to feed the top down. And it's so ineffective that the side effect of this is going to be massive inflation, which is just going to devastate people on fixed incomes. But that's mostly old people and people on welfare, so who cares about that? Is that a good summary?
I repeat, Babylon the Great hath fallen. All praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders. Peace to the elect worldwide. The kingdom is at hand. Shalom.